What's good, Lifestyle Podcast? Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Jared. Y'all, apparently Anton Daniels and Boyce, I should say Moist Wakins went at it head to head. And Boyce is always over here talking that bullshit and always trying to damn start some shit with somebody. So yeah, I'm about to cook Boyce motherfucking ass now because he done pissed me off now. And I know I was supposed to do a video yesterday about Kevin, but I just couldn't. I couldn't. I seen all the content creators said. So, in respect to Kevin Samuels, I'm going to cook this milk dud looking motherfucker tonight. So, let's get it.
Anton's in here. So, Anton, I'm going to bring you in. So, here we go. So, everybody, welcome Anton, and let's treat him with respect. Let's hear what the brother has to say. Hey, brother, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Doing good. So welcome to the channel. It's good to finally meet you in person. So I assume that you have some things to say. So I'm gonna go ahead and just be quiet and give you the floor.
First and foremost, let me say I appreciate you for letting me come on a platform and even being able to have this conversation, because I think it's important, because we just fundamentally disagree on a lot of different things. First, let me say that I remember all of the times where you were throwing shots, Boyce. You threw a lot of shots in a lot of the different red pill content spaces. You throw comments inside of Instagram posts that's specifically referencing me on videos that they repost to me. You throw ad hominem attacks like, oh man, he must be cross-eyed or stuff like that. And that's cool. I don't have any problems with that because it's cool. We all content creators and people are going to get shots. But then you can't complain on the other side when people reference you, because you always playing victim, or you always trying to act like you don't understand why people have a problem with you. It's because you do things like that. But then you want to sit here and posture and say, well, we should all talk like men. You started it. You absolutely started it. And so when other people start to get shine, or when other people's message start to resonate with other men, then you throw shots instead of having a conversation with them. So I appreciate you for even allowing for me to come on a platform and have this conversation in the first place, because I think that, you need to check that. You do a lot of that when you talk about empowerment, but you always throw shots at different content creators. But then when it's time to have a conversation in the past, you say, well, I'm not paying attention to it. I don't really reference it. It's not a big deal. I think.
So, you seen all that. And honestly, I'm gonna say this about Boyce. Whenever Boyce starts to talk about a lot of content creators and stuff like that, now he's never referenced me, but when he start, just know I'm gonna go in on him. But the fact of the matter is that Boyce is a very disrespectful motherfucker, and the thing is, he's so disrespectful that he started coming at people who were no longer here, aka Kevin Samuels. Now, this interview is going to display that, and like I said, I'm gonna cook his ass because I'm getting sick of this milk dud looking motherfucker.
I think that's not right. That's not right, Boyce. And then you wonder why people.
You actually make.
Go ahead. I'm
you
sorry.
Made a great point. You really exposed me with that, because you're right. Sometimes I go in the land of petty. Like, I think, for example, and it really is, it is a type of hypocrisy that I've always had to confront, because it's like I had, and you're not the first person I've had that kind of disagreement with. Kwame Brown really had a problem. I mean, this dude made 12 videos or something in a row about me. I didn't watch any of them. So that part about ignoring it, I really do ignore it because I want to focus. But
that's a damn lie, because if you knew he made 12 videos, that means you as again. And then you're talking about that's you going into the letter pettiness. If you were a guy, and I'll admit it, I get petty sometimes, but to me it's more entertainment factor when I go into my pettiness and start to comment and screenshot motherfuckers that be saying stupid shit. But that's just me fucking having fun with it because I'm just like, bro, look at this bullshit. But in this sense, Boyce does this shit and then he points the fingers and runs like a little bitch. He did that with Anton multiple times. He did that with Kevin Samuels. He did that with that Corey Holcomb. And Corey Holcomb called his ass out on live, and Willie D had to kind of check that shit and be like, yo, let's come together, let's talk like men. If it was me, I would have said, man, fuck Boyce and fuck his milk dud head. Like, boy, good God, this nigga look like a rat.
But if you really look at it, I said his name first instead of, and I wasn't trying to insult him, but I said his name, he got offended, and that was the reaction. So you could be right. I've been accused of being a provocateur before. And so first off, I want to acknowledge that and even apologize for that. But then second of all,
I don't think it warrants an apology because we are content creators. The only thing that I'm saying is, if you dish it out, you just got to be willing to take it back. I say a lot of things because other people are content creators, and so I'm going to critique their position on different subjects. And then I notice that they get offended, but people say stuff about, I'm not tripping about it. It's just a part of the game. I understand that that's what comes with the territory. So I don't have any problem with you doing it. I just don't want you to be a victim. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, I don't see myself as a victim. I understand where you're coming from with that. I mean, I don't look at it as like, woe is me. I think it's more so, I'm thinking more so about the fact that it seems to me that we can't have this conversation about dating and relationships without it somehow sounding like we're getting clicks and views by bashing Black women. And I know that it's not all women, and I get it, but I don't see the same level of accountability being pushed toward the men as the women. And I believe it's because the men are the ones that are promoting the content and giving the clicks and views, and because you're affirming everything they believe, that nothing's their fault, that it's always the women this and women that. I see the same shit you see. I see the same.
No, Boyce is fucking lying, because there's been a lot of times where I've heard a lot of men critique other men on the way they act. I've done it a couple of times, actually. So the fact that he's saying this is a lie, because I'll be the quickest one to tell dudes, bro, you don't stop bullshitting around with that stop bullshitting. Like, check yourself, because even then, when Red Pill Science knows the hell what the hell I'm talking about. When I critique Myron and Fresh and Fit, when I critique them on that bullshit, I called them out. But the thing is, I'm always holding everybody accountable, even myself. When I fuck up on a video, I expect you guys to come and tell me like, yo, you wrong. I expect that, but I'm not in that sense. When I know when you be an asshole, yeah, I'm gonna check you. But if you coming at me with your wording, I'm not gonna bite your head off. Boyce loves to bite his head off, bite your heads off. Boyce loves to run, throw a damn football at somebody's head, and dog gonna run like a little bitch every time somebody come running at his ass. Like,
same community you see. I avoid the same women you might avoid, but I think that we have a community that needs healing and support, not one where we got millions of men that are just talking crazy about like single mothers. Like, what the fuck is wrong with every single mother is not a hoe.
We never said that, but the thing is with a lot of that shit, we try to tell women like, yo, y'all keep choosing the same guys, and y'all keep making the same mistakes, and the problem is y'all don't want to learn or hear anybody say it. And the thing is, Black men have had a mirror held up to our damn face every fucking year. Every day we get checked. Every year, every day, every hour, every minute, we're getting checked and critiqued on what we do. Problem is, when it starts to get put on the women don't want to hear it, because all you're being misogynistic, you're bashing us and all this stuff. they always want to point out that men are bashing them, but they don't want to take. But the only reason why they say this is because they don't want to be critiqued on what they're doing wrong. And when men are trying to tell them that they're doing something wrong, you have guys like Boyce coming in trying to doggone play to them, the world's smallest violin, talking about don't be so hard on me, don't be so hard, man. If you don't shut up. I'm tired of it always being on what black men need to do, and black women can run around here fucking everything under the sun and not have no accountability on them. Like, come on now, it's time out for that. We've had 50 plus years of that shit and nothing has changed other than black men saying, you know what, let's get our shit together. You don't see black men en masse going out here celebrating Sukiana in Sexy Reds. Funky ass. You don't see that shit. But you will see goddamn them partying and dancing to Sexy Red, twerking everywhere. Matter of fact, I think Dennis Sperling, hold up, let me bring it back to me right quick. I think Dennis Sperling posted a video of some ratchet shit on his page and the difference between African culture and the culture we have right here. Yeah, let me go to that. Because there's a real difference between what they do. Okay, so yeah, let's see this. So this is what I'm talking about right here, and I'm glad I got it muted. So look at this, twerking on a fucking roof. She getting on the roof to twerk. Then you got all of these ratchet assholes twerking, and you know it smell like straight musted pussy and ass right there. Look at this shit. BBLs everywhere and shit like this. This is what I'm talking about. You don't see black men doing this shit other than these hood niggas right here. All you seeing is this. What the hell? And this is Suki. So this is exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. This is what Boyce Wakins want everybody to marry and date. Right here. And then, this is a woman from Africa. Like, look at this. She's from Africa. Now, I can say this. She ain't doing it like them. She doing it at least a little classy, a little restraint, a little discreetness. But then you got this. This comes from Africa. Yeah, okay. Twerking comes from Africa. Yeah, I doubt that. Highly doubt that, in fact. But let's continue to hear what Boyce Wakins has to say again.
You know, some of them literally got abandoned by some raggedy ass Negro who didn't handle his responsibility. We don't talk about that.
We do talk about it. We've been talking about it for the past 50 years. Guys by default have always been held accountable, largely for the things that they do because we don't have a safety net. But when we speak, of course, there's going to be the anomaly. Of course, there's going to be the woman who was widowed. Of course, there's going to be a lot of different women that are in certain circumstances. But when we speak to the majority. We don't speak to the minority. And statistically speaking, the overwhelming majority of women are having babies with a small minority of men. Let's say, for example, that you hold every guy accountable, because contrary to popular belief, I'm much harder on guys than I am on women. I am absolutely, positively dedicated to building men. As a matter of fact, I'm an advocate for dick discipline. I don't advocate for guys to be out here spreading their seed. I'm a reflection of the thing that I advocate for. And I'll get into my family history in a little bit, but in a general sense, I'm much harder on men than I am on women. But we live in a society where women have advocated for equal. They've advocated for equal when it comes to what benefits them, but not advocating for equal when it comes to holding themselves accountable for the decisions that they make, right? So now that they have a platform, and we've let women have a platform for a long time, now that men are starting to speak to their issues, we have to call a spade a spade. And the reality is that I can hold every single guy accountable, and every single guy can clean up their mess in their life. But it only takes a percentage of 1% of men to then get with all of the women that then choose this exact same type of guy, have a child by him, but then they'll start to hold all men accountable for the idea that they chose wrong because they know that they should not be opening their legs and carrying before they marry. And so when we start to have these conversations, we have to have them holistically. You can't just say, okay, well, what about the guy? We always talk about the guy. We've been talking about the guy since the beginning of time. They won't even advocate for updating family court laws that were created at a time where women didn't even have rights to choose for themselves or be able to have the opportunities to have the jobs that they have. But they advocate against updating family court laws, but then advocate for making sure that they can choose and do what they want to do, but then advocate against being able to be held accountable for the decisions that they make. And that's ultimately creating so much chaos as far as the type of women that are then determining what's happening in our elections, the type of men that they're raising that ultimately is affecting what's happening in the laws that's happening in our schools. All of the things that we have as far as men being able to say, okay, well, I'm going to be held accountable for the fact that I chose this woman or I had children with this woman, which the overwhelming majority of single men don't have children out of wedlock. That's a statistical fact. More men don't have children out of wedlock versus single baby mamas. But then we advocate for cleaning up the community. I don't believe personally that the goal is to make sure that we remix families and remix the core of what it takes in order to be successful when it comes to creating families and coming together. I think that we need to go back and hit the reset button and start to say, okay, wait a minute. We shouldn't be having children out of wedlock instead of enabling bad behavior by saying, okay, well, wait a minute. Some guy should come up and clean up the mess of another guy. Because what about him? What about the guy that took care of his business, was on top of things, did not have children out of wedlock, made sure that he leveled up and took care of his business? If we care about him, why would we say, hey, you need to go and get with a woman that then messed up her life instead of pairing him with a woman that's more closely or equally yoked with the direction of his life that he's going in? Why should it be the responsibility of somebody that didn't create that situation instead of holding the person accountable that did, like we do to men every day since we live in a society where we've advocated for feminism and equality, especially equality with regard to decision and what you can choose to do as far as for a living.
Exactly. They don't want to, and the thing is, they don't want to answer that question because they know that he's right. Like, look at Boyce. He's looking like, how do I respond to this? How do I respond to this? Like, that milk dud is literally trying to figure out how to lie and say some bullshit to put the blame on men. Excuse me. Watch this.
Why should guys have to bear that brunt instead of be held accountable, holding accountable the ones that's actually making the decisions to get pregnant?
Now I hear what you're saying. I mean, I think that if you want my take on feminism, I'm not really into any of what has happened in our community for the last 50 years, right?
Did that bullshit just come out your fucking mouth? You don't advocate for it, but yet you're telling men to go date a woman that has children. You're telling men to take responsibility for helping a woman out with her children that she created with another man or multiple men. And what is he getting in return? Boyce, I get it. You accepted that position for yourself because you married a single mom, but majority of men are not wanting to deal with that. No other community is literally advocating for their men to go date a single mom in their community. Why is it that it's always on black men to clean up a fucking mess that we didn't fucking make? Majority of us don't have kids. I don't got kids. And the reason why I'm so gun-ho ready to doggone snap his neck off is because he's trying to put the blame on all the brothers that ain't got kids. I ain't got no kids by nobody. I don't got no kids. I don't have none on the way. That's why I have a problem with it. And he's a fucking 40-plus-year-old man trying to advocate for this shit. Boys, this ain't back in the 1990s. These bras nowadays don't give a damn about any of us. These bras nowadays are fucking... These bras nowadays, they only care about themselves.
So you are correct in that the choices are being made in the wrong way. I think that where I want to kind of add to that and try to understand this better is why is it that we would say, for example, look at a child as somebody else's mess to clean up? I married a woman that had 3 kids, as a lot of people seem to know, and And it wasn't because the father was a piece of shit. It's because they got a divorce for whatever reason. I work with the father to raise the kids. I love the kids. I consider children to be an asset. I love, I could have married, you and I both are guys who have a little bit of money. You know how it is. You got a little bit of money. You could pick from the litter. I could have got a woman 25 years younger than me and had a.
Now, boys, we know your ass can get a woman that's younger than you, that's 25 years younger than you. We both know that. All of us on this internet knows that. You marry what you got. Nobody wants a dopey looking Steve Urkel lookalike, bald headed brother that acts like he's whiter than Jesus Christ is, or so they say, and thinks he knows every fucking thing. Jesus, I pause these shits at the worst time. This man really do look like a fucking rat. I swear to God. God damn. But it's the truth though. It's like y'all want us to accept a woman that's made bad decisions her whole life, but this woman refuses to take responsibility for herself. That's why I kind of have a problem with
the newborn baby. I just didn't want to have a newborn baby. I like mentoring kids. These kids have helped me make millions of dollars because they helped me run my business. This is fun for me. So why is it that we would go out and tell men, don't be no step baby daddy. Don't be no, I think I used crash dummy or something like that. I honor those men. Let's seriously, I really have admiration for the men who say, you know what, I didn't make this mess, but it's my community. I'm gonna clean up. If I see a piece of trash in my neighborhood, I'm not gonna be like, well, that's not my trash. Somebody got to go pick this up. I'm not picking it up because it's not my responsibility. No, I think it's all of our responsibility, right? Because you are right. You what you said earlier, I agree with that 100%. That the studies show that women are attracted to the top 10% of men. And you got some of those men that top 10% that fuck everything, impregnate everything, passing all the disease, all that, right? So that's got to be dealt with. But I don't necessarily always look at it all as just like, okay, all these women were just stupid. Sometimes they.
Boys, if they are sitting there having sex with the top 10% of men, getting pregnant by these men, then that should be on them. The majority of women are fucking the top 10% of men. So in the sense, you just literally defeated your entire whole argument with your own statement. Let's rewind that, shall we?
No, I think it's all of our responsibility, right? Because you are right. You what you said earlier, I agree with that 100%.
If it's all about responsibility, that means it should be the responsibility of the mother to take accountability for her fuck ups. Boyce, you just literally stated the word responsibility and it came out of your mouth. That shit threw up out of your mouth. That means that they should be responsible for their fuck up. They should be responsible for getting children by the Asian nigga. If she ain't learned after 2-3 damn kids by that one motherfucker, that motherfucker deserves the responsibility of taking care of them children without somebody coming to save her, or expecting, I should say, coming to save her. Okay? Y'all gonna make me start acting like Trump. Apparently I got called Trump in one of my videos. Yeah, okay.
That the studies show that women are attracted to the top 10% of men. And you got some of those men that top 10% that fuck everything, impregnate everything, passing all the disease, all that, right? So that's got to be dealt with. But I don't necessarily always look at it all as just like, okay, all these women were just stupid. Sometimes they literally fall in love with the guy and they really think it's going to work out. And maybe their daddy nobody taught them how to discern between the two. I just think that attacking is not the best approach. I think that we can build without having a scapegoat. I feel like the single black mother is what's the scapegoat. It started with the Kevin Samuels thing when he realized how many views he was going to get. Remember, Kevin
didn't start off. Kevin was trying to talk about something else. This woman literally came onto his channel, and just like all the other women that he's talked to, they came onto his channel voluntarily. He didn't pay them. He didn't do any of that. The fact is, you're jealous because those women came to Kevin for advice, instead of your bald headed ass. Yeah.
Samuels did content for years. Nobody paid attention. It wasn't until he told that poor lady that she's going to die alone, which she probably already knew that shit anyway. That was when he started doubling down on that. And I'm like, why you got to go tell people they're going to die alone? If they know they're going to die alone, they're going to die alone. Let them deal with that. It's not our job to be like, well, because you are a 30.
You just said take responsibility for the community, boys. If you want us to take responsibility for the community, that means telling them the truth instead of lying to their face. See, the problem is, boys, you want to lie and keep this shit going so that you can keep getting your audience, which are these women that are single and alone. You're trying to get the audience of these women. Problem is, these women need to hear the truth from men. That's the reason why you're having a problem with it. To be honest, you're angry because of this space is growing. Multiple podcasts, multiple people are talking about the things that you don't like because it's holding up a mirror to a lot of these women. It's holding up a mirror. And the problem is you don't like that mirror being held up because in a sense it challenges your own relationship with your wife.
5-year-old black woman and you whatever, you gonna die alone. Why would we even want to be known for that kind of thing?
She called in. What do you mean? She asked for the advice. She asked him for his insight. See, the part where you're wrong is that we don't acknowledge the fact that Kev had held men accountable for years. And he was much harder on men than he was on women. But see, we only want to acknowledge the part where people start getting offended because he started holding women accountable. See, your word choice is strategic, and I understand what you do, Boyce. You use attack instead of saying being held accountable. See, we don't use the word attack when we talk to men. We just say, man up, take care of business, take ownership and responsibility for what you did, and then keep going. But we don't use that word when we apply it to women that ask for the advice of Kevin Samuels. He didn't attack anybody. He told the truth. And so it's a difference between being a truth teller and somebody that's doing it for views, because he was compensated according to what it was, which I think that he should have been compensated and he should have been much more successful earlier. But because he was compensated and he was successful as a result of it, that's what then brings out the jealousy. That's what then brings out the haters. That's what then brings out the problem, because he wasn't a problem when he was given the exact same advice, even worse to men. But let's flip over for a second. I don't think.
Now, I'm going to say this. I've watched some of Kev's earlier content when it came to talking about men. And you think it's bad what he did to the women? No. So the thing is, when Kevin was talking to the men, he talked to you like a father should talk to his son. Get your ass up, work your ass off, stop bitching, stop complaining, stop being a little pussy about shit. That was Kevin. See, what I do on my page, if I was to do content like Kev did, y'all would think I was an evil son bitch. Kevin was nicer about it. There's a lot of shit I got to do my damn self. So that's the reason why I never fucking talk about. That's why I never really talked about really going off on men. But we have enough of that. We have enough of that reality check going on. Problem is, women want to stay in delusional land and still getting what they want, instead of actually listening and actually seeing that what they're asking for is way outside of their range. And the problem is, super simps are coming to the rescue with their super cape. Yeah.
I think these guys are heroes of the community. I think that these guys are enabling bad behavior, because if a woman, and they say it regularly, can go out and do what she want to do, these college campuses are nothing but indoctrination camps. They are
I agree with that, but I've said the same thing. Go ahead.
and they literally not only are indoctrination camps, but they're also a gateway into bad behavior for a lifetime of pain, meaning that they go out there, they slut it out, they get pregnant, they do what they want to do, and they even have a phase for it. They say, this is my whole phase. So instead of us holding women accountable and saying, hey, you shouldn't have a whole phase, but you should get married, because we already understand what the statistics are. You're less likely to go to jail. You're more likely to graduate college. You're less likely to need therapy. You're less likely to have problems. You're less likely to join gangs if you are raised in a two-parent household. Instead of us going back to the core of it and saying, hey, listen, I'm not going to enable your bad behavior by rewarding you with a good man that then should have been with his own family. Instead, I'm going to hold you accountable, and maybe you should choose better. As a matter of fact, you should probably go back and get with the person that you had children with in the first place, because if he was good enough to open your legs for, because kids still need their father. You just said out of your own mouth that you worked closely with the father of the children from the mother that she originally had kids with. So why don't we have conversations with men or with women and say, hey, then how come you won't go back with the person that actually had the children with? Because that's probably what's best for them in most situations. But I believe that you advocate for it because that's the life that you live. You chose it. And so how can you go against the very thing that you live and then tell guys to do anything different when that's the thing that you're doing? Because you would sound like a hypocrite. And I think that you also understand who your core audience is. I think that the majority of the people that support you, Boyce, are women, Black women. And they want to hear the narrative. They want to be sold. They want to be told a certain thing similar to how it is when we go to church. And so they support you because you don't go against them. And it's a strong possibility, the majority of them, based off of the statistics, that they are single mothers. And so I don't speak to the majority of people that want to hear what they want to hear. The only thing I care about is the truth. I'll let the chips fall where they may. And I'm not controlled by anybody. I don't care about the demographics. My audience or the people that resonate with me, they gonna find me. I don't pander to nobody. The only thing I do is I tell the truth. There's nothing that I say, is nothing that you can reference that I say that is actually bad for the community, including how I live my life. Specifically, you reference my family. I'll give you a little bit of context. I was raised in a two-parent household, all four boys, me and my three brothers. My father was in our life until I was in my late 30s. That's when my father passed away. Then my mother became a widow when all of her children was out the house past 30 years old. And then eventually another guy, because she was working for me in one of my restaurants, came in, asked me, could he speak to my mother? And then eventually they wound up getting married after her children were already grown. So she was widowed. And then she wound up getting remarried when her children was grown. All 9 of my uncles on my mother's side married, never divorced. None of my brothers have never been divorced. I've been married for over almost 20 years, since I was 22 years old, with the woman that I chose, the woman that I grew up with in high school. I met her in high school. She's in the other room right now. I have a daughter, right? My other uncle that's not deceased on my father's side, he's still married to the same woman. I don't come from broken households. I don't come from broken families. I chose the woman that I have. I have no scandals. I have no problems. I have no issues in my life. So when I speak, what happens is the reason why I live my life like an open book is because I want men to not only see an example of a person that's advocating for the thing that he lived for, but I'm a reflection of what I would want my daughter to marry. And so it's hard for women to then come after me and say, well, he's hurt or he's coming from a broken family, because I don't. And I think that it's guys like me that need to advocate for guys that's on the other side, because I don't have to go through it and they don't either. And I want to be a reflection of what I want those guys to be. But I believe that you advocate for it because you understand your audience. I don't think that you even really believe it. There's nowhere in the world that you can tell me, Boyce, that you would tell your daughter or your son to go and get with a ready-made family. I don't believe you would do that.
And before I let Boyce answer, because I know it's going to be some bullshit that's going to come out of his mouth, we all know that Boyce wouldn't allow that shit either. He's only doing it because it's not his kids. He's only doing it because he knows that he's trying, because, he knows, but he's trying to son and daughter black men and black women into following his lead when nobody actually respects him nor wants to be led by him. He's trying to be a leader when he can't. It's guys like him and Dr. Umar that try to get respect in the community for preaching a message to the women. So they're trying to basically rule through the women by trying to shame us into following them into oblivion. You want me to be completely honest? That's the way I feel about it. Let's continue.
So, well, let me jump in on that. My audience is actually pretty mixed. It's about 60-40 women to men, though. So you are right about that. But there's a lot of men that follow me, and it's not. And the pandering part, I think that's debatable because when I go to your channel and I look at who's in there making comments, it's mostly men, right? And what I would almost say to you, brother, is just in terms of a thought, is I think there's a reason why men resonate with your message more than women, because I don't really hear the kind of intelligent, constructive advice that I think you're capable of when I see your commentary. I see a lot of stuff that could come off as woman bashing, right? Like that, just the little video that I shared on my Instagram about Umar hit it, so hit it. Then you threw that little thing, but Boyce didn't hit it. We know we ain't worried about Boyce. You're right, and you're right. Boyce ain't gonna hit it because Boyce was not out there.
Boyce, right. You know the difference between joking and then also putting the medicine inside of the candy. What part of that clip that you played was actually toxic or woman bashing?
I think the part that was toxic was this idea that that we are.
Anytime somebody look up trying to actually think and shit and keep on saying like that, they're trying to come up with a bullshit lie. Now, admittedly, at work, sometimes I'm trying to bullshit my damn boss. That motherfucker call that shit out quick, and it should be funny because he'll be like, "Motherfucker, if you don't shit your ass up, yeah, that should be funny as hell." But the way that Boyce is doing it, you know he about to come up with a lie.
Are judging a woman's past much more harshly than we would judge a man's past. You said sit in the presence of kings. I think it's debatable about what makes a man a king. I know a lot of men who ain't got king-like qualities, who ain't kings for shit, who are walking around claiming. Seriously though,
what's the toxic part? What's the toxic part?
Like when you hear guys talk about, well, women's standards are too high and they want this to. I'm like, well, maybe you just didn't make the fucking cut.
No,
like seriously, like a lot of guys don't.
Hell no, boys. The reason why you getting cooked is because you tried to come in the defense of a single mother of 7 that had kids with one man and never required him to marry her. Now she got 7 kids, and when somebody told her to go back to the damn baby daddy, she talking about, nah, I don't want to do that. Now she trying to find somebody that's a lot better than her, when in fact she's coming to the table with damn 7 mouths to feed plus her, and expecting the man to just willy-nilly take all her baggage to glory. That ain't how this shit goes, and that's the reason why you getting a lot of pushback.
Don't make the cut and then run around
in the clip,
bitching and pissed off because the woman didn't want him. She had better options than you.
What in the clip did you play that I say that was woman bashing or toxic?
Okay, let's play the clip. How about we play the clip?
Oh, yeah.
Is that cool? All right, let's put the clip up and we can dissect it. That way we can look at it with fresh memory. And I gotta actually take a quick leak. So this will be your platform for a minute. Let me see if this is.
I don't care what nobody say. I definitely agree.
Damn. All right, you know what? It's on my Instagram. Okay, so let me pull it up on my Instagram. But I'm gonna play the clip, man, because the thing about it was the tone. If you want to understand like the other point of view on what you said, go to my page. Since you said more women might follow me or whatever than you, take a look at what some of the ladies said, and I think that women should be heard. Right? It doesn't mean you got to agree. The question is, are you hearing women, or are you just telling women what you think, and that we somehow, because we're men, our opinion is the only opinion that matters? That's the part that's the problem. And that was the issue I had with. I like Kevin Samuels. Kevin did a video about me. I felt bad because he was very supportive, bro. He was very supportive of me in the video. But Kevin died alone. Kevin Samuels, the same shit he said about that woman. You gonna die.
No, Kevin didn't die alone. Nah, I ain't about to let you put that bullshit out, boys. Nah, Kevin didn't die alone. He died with Hortensia. Hortensia was right there trying to get him medical attention before he passed on. So the fact of the matter is, Boyce, Kevin had somebody there with him that genuinely loved him. If you guys haven't seen Dennis Sperling's interview with her, she talked about it. The fact of the matter is that, Boyce, you're angry because there's men that are preaching a message that's a lot bigger than yours, and are getting a lot of people that's following them. You're angry because these men are starting to get more attention than you. These smaller channels are starting to pop up and are starting to gain subscribers faster than you did by preaching a bullshit message. See, Boyce, let's be honest here. You were jealous because Kevin Samuels came along and kicked your ass out of the damn hole that you crawled out of, kicked you back into it, and you're angry because this man came, surpassed you, and is still being talked about. The motherfucking man is a god. The Godfather. That man is a fucking god. And he is still being talked about 2 years later. Anytime somebody bring up your fucking name, it's all some bullshit that's come out your mouth. You wish you would have had a woman that died, that was there with you when you passed. You wish you had a woman that genuinely cared about you and not come back to you 30 years later with some damn kids had by another man. You mad as hell because of that. But it's okay, Boyce. We all understand you mad. The problem is you keep bringing up Kevin Samuels. Even in his death, he's still on your brain cells. Only way and the only reason why you can get fucking views is if you bring up some negative shit talking about Kevin Samuels. Bro, you only got 17,000 views on this and you got 542,000 subscribers. The fact of the matter is that not even half of your subscriber base looked at it. Kevin, let's go to KS's page. Well, let's go to KS's page. You type in Kevin, still comes up. Let's see. One of KS's last live videos. Because he died 2 years ago. One of his last live videos got 326K views. 503, 622K, 390. And this man had a smaller platform than he does now. Right now, KS is sitting at 1.81 million. And you're telling me that you're not a little bit jealous? You're jealous of KS. That's the only reason why you keep his name in your mouth.
Download, you go download.
You went in on him the minute that he passed away. You started talking junk about him the minute that he passed away.
You know what? I had to be honest. Just like you said, you don't pander. I don't pander.
So how can you sit here and say that you rock with me?
I lost a lot of black male friends because of that position, but I'm okay with that.
I'm with having smoke for people when they can defend themselves. But how can you speak ill upon a man after he passed away? That's just low. That's lowbrow, boys. You know it. You cannot start speaking all of a sudden start talking on a person after they passed away. Hold on. Because I know him. I spoke at his funeral, right? I know his mother. I know his daughter. That was lowbrow. To hear you as a voice of the Black community talk negatively about a person after they passed away, that was foul, boys.
There was nothing I said about Kevin after his death that I did not say when he was alive. And Kevin knew it because Kevin was talking to my wife on his platform.
About a person after they passed away.
I did not know. My position is unconditional honesty. I don't give a fuck if you're alive or you're dead. My opinion is not going to shift. I did not. No. Let's be clear. I did not dislike Kevin. I specifically gave him compliments. I talked about the good things he did.
No.
Man, we gotta defend our women, man. If you got a platform when you're making women feel bad, acting like women are the only ones who can die alone.
You're trying to move the goalposts. You're moving the goalposts.
No, we're not moving the goalposts.
Once a person passes away, first of all, it was fresh off of his death, and his mother is grieving, and his daughter is grieving. His friends is grieving. People that actually care for him is grieving. You piled on in the death. That's lowbrow, boys. Listen, and I said it. I don't care if people say anything about a person when they're alive and they can defend themselves. He got a platform. He can say whatever it is that you want to say. When somebody passes away and people are grieving and you piling on in the same way that a lot of these other women that didn't like him, and you say that you like him, but you validating how it is that that's lowbrow behavior. I will never talk negative.
The thing is, Boyce, like I said, Boyce is jealous of KS. And the fact of the matter is, Boyce never liked Kevin. I don't use Kevin content because I ain't trying to make a dime off of him. The only reason why I will put KS's name in the video is because of something that somebody's saying or because of somebody reviewing a video of his. I never review Kevin's fucking videos. That's a level of respect. I don't mention KS. I don't talk ill about him, even though I disagree with him on some stuff. But for the most part, I respect it and I like Kevin. But the thing is, people like Boyce say they like him and then talk dog shit about him during his death while he's going on. Keeping this man name in your mouth, still talking shit. Now, if you was in my generation, Boyce, you would have got your mouth. You would have got punched in your mouth by now. So I'm gonna just say that out on live on the video. You would have got your damn teeth knocked in. The fact of the matter is, you keep talking that shit, keep talking that rah-rah shit on the internet behind your camera with that struggle ass fucking banner behind you saying the black business school. Boys, don't nobody trust you when it comes to finances.
Negatively about a person that cannot defend themselves, or if I don't care for somebody, I'm just gonna not say nothing at all. I'm not gonna talk negatively about somebody.
But it's okay. But it's okay to tell women who are gonna die alone that they're gonna die alone. So that's okay.
Call into your platform. It's okay to build. You forgetting one thing, Boyce. You forgetting one thing. They called into his platform to get his advice. He did not ask them.
They did not call in to get abuse. They did not call in.
No. Every single and you're not giving him credit for all of the women that he actually helped, because he had statistics and he had facts. He had people.
Soraya Brooks even coined Kevin for preaching a lot of stuff that Kevin was saying, and she's a married woman of 20-something years. A lot of women that went on KS's platform, they said, "Thank you for helping my marriage." They came back on his platform and thanked him on live. So, Boyce, what are you talking about?
Well, that he was actually getting to the finish line. And see, we don't talk about that part, and you still moving the goalpost. The fact of the matter is, it does not matter what happened when somebody was alive. Us as people with a platform, we should not be talking about people fresh on their death in a negative way, and then at the same time you sitting here talking about, well, I liked him. You can't have both. Either you was rocking with him and you liked him, or you didn't.
No,
but if it was somebody,
I don't. But that's.
I will never do that. I will never do that.
But let me correct you. I don't do that with anyone. There's nobody that.
Boyce, you did. That's the problem. You arguing like a woman, bro. I swear to God, Boyce, you are arguing like a woman. You did that several times. Dr. Umar, although he didn't agree with what Kevin said, he still doesn't talk about Kevin in a negative light. You are the only black man that's got a platform this big that's ever said anything negative and keep saying some negative shit about him. The only black man with a channel this size that keeps saying shit. You don't know when, boys, you don't know when to shut the fuck up. I'm gonna just say it. You don't know when to shut the fuck up. You don't know how to shut the fuck up. You don't even know when to shut the fuck up. You keep going. You keep piling shit on, and people keep coming for your neck. If you are a business and finance class or a finance channel, stick to what the fuck you know. If you don't know shit about relationships or any of that stuff, stay what the fuck you know. You keep getting punched in the mouth because you keep on saying shit. Shut the fuck up. That's what we're trying to tell you. Stay with what you know, what your channel is built on, and shut the fuck up. That's all we telling you. But you don't have any common fucking sense up inside that fucking milk dud of a brain you have. You don't know when to shut the hell up. Shut up.
I think is perfect. I'm not a follower. I don't rock with somebody 100% or hate them 100%. I talk about the nuances. And I think with Kevin, what I always said about Kevin was the exact same thing I said before he died and after he died. I was consistent. I might be an asshole, but at least I'm a consistent asshole. As I said, he's a brilliant guy. He did great work, but he realized his channel took off when he told that lady she was going to die alone. And right before he died, he said some shit about, like, when you over 35, you're a leftover. Nobody wants you. Who the fuck thinks that shit? That's bullshit.
We can go back and forth.
Women in our community.
I'm not here to defend Kevin.
Do you believe Kevin, that? You believe a woman is worthless if they're over 35?
We can get into that. I'm not here to defend Kev because Kev's legacy speaks for itself, in my personal opinion. He said what he said. People can agree with it or disagree with it. I used to have conversations on the phone with him all the time, where I would personally disagree with him on some things also. But I will never let that come out into the public because that's not what friends do. If I was holding Kev accountable or if he was holding me accountable, then we held each other accountable privately because we truly rock with each other. So I'm not here to defend Kev because Kev can his work speak for itself. I'm saying that that's lowbrow behavior to speak on somebody. That would be almost like somebody bringing up Kobe's issues as far as what he dealt with when he was dealing with the whole rape charges upon the crashing and when he passed away. That wasn't the time for it, Boyce. That's when you pass away, people are grieving. They are grieving. They trying to remember the best of whatever it is that they have left of the person because it was an unexpected death. That's not right. It's just not right.
Let's be clear. I don't think I talked about Kevin until the time had passed. I didn't talk. It wasn't like I did a video right when he died and said breaking news.
Boyce, let's go to your channel. Dr. Boyce Wakins Black Excellence channel. Let's see. Let's see. Matter of fact, Pink Book. Damn, I didn't even know Pink Book Lessons covered this one. And even Angry Guy is still talking about Kevin Samuels. A year ago. No, a day ago. The ugly truth about Kevin Samuels. Wow, this nigga keeps going on. This is the podcast I was talking about Dennis Sperling last night. Like, this is what I'm talking about. And it's wow. petition wants Kevin Samuels banned from YouTube. Dr. Boyce and Alicia Wakins. Wow. So you're telling me, Boyce, you don't have a. Even Bernard Riley covered this. Wow. Bernard Riley covered it. O'Shea covered it 2 years ago. A&A Radio. I'm gonna watch that too. What a billionaire told me about black people. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So Boyce has always been one that's always tried to come for Kevin. He's been coming for Kevin. And the crazy part is Boyce keeps on talking shit. Corey Holcomb even has checked him. So my thing is this. Boyce, you got a fucking problem. You got a problem. And you need to check your shit. Because not too many people could keep on taking your bullshit, boys. I'm sorry to tell you that. But this new generation of black folk ain't gonna be taking your shit, bro. It's a wrap. But that's gonna be it for this video. I'm gonna post a link to this actual video down below. So you guys can actually watch that full interview yourself, because Boyce already pissed me off. So I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Thank you guys for listening. I'll catch you guys later. Bye, guys.